Hello and welcome. Today we are going to be taking a look at how to create, read, update, and delete rows from your database using MySQL and C#. Before we start, it might be useful to know that this video is timestamped and the relevant link can be found in the description. A CRUD is an abbreviation for create, read, update, and delete and is used to do these operations with your database to manage data from your application. For this video, I made a very simple MySQL database to keep it simple so I can show how it works without complicating things. To start things off, I made a database. I called the database Playground Database, which has one table called Lesson. Inside of this table, we have 3 columns. A column for the ID, a column for the lesson name, and lastly, a column for the lesson description. I filled this table with 2 rows of data. By the end of this tutorial, we will have inserted a row, read the table, changed a row, and deleted a row, all from an application. For this tutorial, we are going to be making a .NET Framework WPF app. This app will contain 4 buttons to start the operations and a data grid to display the data. We will give the data grid a name and the buttons a click event each. We will be starting with the create operation or insert in SQL terms. I will run you through the code on how it works, but if you want to tag along, I left a link in the description for the code I'm starting with. Every operation in a CRUD is essentially built the same way. We first create a connection string. This is just a string with the information to connect to your database. Then we create a query, which in this case will be a insert query. If you don't know how to make a insert query, you can visit link number 2 in the description for a brief and simple explanation from w3schools.com. Then we create a connection object which holds the connection string that we made before. Now we are able to make a command object which holds the information to execute a query to the database. We need a data reader to scope the database and make sure everything gets placed correctly. After that, we are ready to open a connection to the database whereafter we execute the command we made earlier. We use this while loop to wait until the reader is finished, which after we can close the connection. You will notice that the update and delete function are the exact same except for the query. We will take a shorter look at these 2 methods and then move on to the read function, which is slightly different. For update and delete, you simply copy and paste the code from the create method and change the query to update or delete one. If you don't know how to do these queries, you can check out link 3 and 4 in the description. The read function is a little different. With the read function, we are retrieving data from the database and putting it in a data grid to display the data from the table. We still create a connection string, a query, a connection object, and a command object. This time we are using a select query. If you aren't familiar with select queries in MySQL, please visit link number 5 in the description. But now instead of using a reader, we will be using a data adapter. A data adapter represents a set of data commands and a database connection that are used to fill a dataset, which in this case is our data grid. We are going to tell the adapter to use the command we made earlier to retrieve data. To put this data in the data grid, we have to first make a data table and fill the adapter with the data table like so. We can now assign this data table to be an item source for the data grid like so. This is the final product. We can read, create, update, and delete data. If I helped you, please consider leaving a like or a positive comment on this video. Constructive feedback is also much appreciated. I hope you learned something and have a great rest of your day.